This is a really big year. Back in 1963, Martin Luther King gave his very famous speech, his I Have a Dream speech.
So, 60 years later, are we still dreaming?
And this is Chick to Chick. Okay, so we're going back in time a little bit here.
Okay, I'm buckled in.
You ready?
Let's do it.
Yeah, we're going back in time to 1963, specifically August 28th, 1963, the March on Washington. Martin Luther King gave this speech that was unbelievable, and it has left such a huge mark on all of us. It was his I Have a Dream speech. You know, and the whole mission and the message behind that was to draw attention to racial and civil inequality. And at the end of the day, what he was talking about and what he wanted to do was to end discrimination. And this year is the 60th anniversary of that speech.
It's unbelievable. I mean, I would call it the privilege of being able to be in Memphis to see, unfortunately, where he was shot. And we all just kind of stood there. We said a prayer. We thought about it. We thought about the mark that he left on all of us. And then, you know, being in Washington, D.C.
Oh my gosh, that monument
is tremendous. It's amazing. So clearly, 60 years later, you know, we are still thinking about it, is still in our hearts. And we wanted to talk a little bit more about this. So joining us today is Marcia Perry-Dix. She's the founder and CEO of Perry Media Group, an international girl boss, and she's got a long list of other things too. We are just happy to have Marcia with us today.
Hi, everyone. I'm happy to see you guys and happy to be here. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you as well. We know you were not alive when Martin Luther King gave that speech back in 1963, but this has clearly had an impact on you. What did you think about the speech, and how has it had an impact on your life?
Wow, such a loaded question. You know, it's 2023. We just celebrated Happy New Year, and now we're celebrating the 60th anniversary of that speech. And all I can say is I still have a dream, and I feel that my dreams, our dreams, are becoming realities. Definitely right now, you know, being an entrepreneur in the great state of Pennsylvania, and what does Martin Luther King mean to me? I feel like, you know, when we aspire to do great things, when we dream it, we can think it, we can do it. And I really believe in that. And, you know, trying to be the best leader I can throughout the Commonwealth, and obviously here in Harrisburg, in the center part of the state, I always keep, you know, his words close on my heart. And I always strive to be the best that I can.
And do you think that in the circle of your business, your friends, any other, you know, relationships that you have, do you feel like the progress is still continually being made? I mean, you know, sometimes, you know, we sit back and we think, wow, have we really gotten anywhere? But how do you feel? How do you feel about it? Has there been enough progress?
Well, I think progress, yes. Opportunity, yes. Access, yes. But there's still a lot of work that needs to be done. I was just telling a friend not too long ago, and I consider you guys friends too. Never in my entire life as being an adult Black woman have I felt Black women trending. So, you know, you asked me this question. I'm going to give you my answer from as a Black woman, my perspective. And Black girl magic, hello. I mean, that's
I love it.
Is what's like leading. Like, how many times do we watch the news? We're like, Black women will help win this election in Atlanta. Black women helped Pennsylvania win the vote. You know, Black women, we are, it truly is Black girl magic. And I've never felt this type of energy before, not just in Pennsylvania, but wherever I go throughout the world. It is really, definitely, I'm seeing progress. I'm seeing more opportunities, and I'm feeling it more or less. But I really think if I were to say, if he were alive today, what would he be proud of? And I think he would be proud of the progress that Black women have made in America and the strides that we're making to stay positive and to keep that energy and to keep that Black girl magic and really like filling the world with it. So that would be my point on that.
Well, there's no doubt you are kicking butt and taking names. I mean, your resume is like this long and so many accomplishments and so many achievements. Is there any part of that speech that really touches you and something that you live by on a day-to-day basis?
Wow. So first and foremost, I would say I believe that when a person gets to a certain point, you have to bring more people up with you. So it's not just like, I'm here, I'm at the top of the world, I made it, I got that big contract, or I got that big opportunity. To me, his speech is all about who are we bringing with us? Who are we teaching? Who are we telling? And who else are we honoring? You know, I always say we stand on the shoulders of our ancestors and the people that were there before me. I want to make them proud. And then the only way to do that is to bring people with me on our way as we're progressing with more opportunities and more access. I think it's really important that we make sure that we find, remember what he said and bring more people with us. That way, there's more of us and there's more opportunity. Women, Black children, Black everyone.
I love that.
Yeah.
I really love that.
Message of inclusion.
It really is. Bring people along. Now, if you could sit down with him and ask him a question, I feel like she's on the stage of like pageantry right now, Marcia. If you could ask him any question, what would you ask him if you had him in front of you?
Man, when Flora called me a couple weeks ago, I've been thinking about this question since we talked, or also thinking about if he were here, what would he say still needs work? And here's my answer. The conversation about being woke has me troubled, and I think that there is confusion about what it really means. So, Flora, I was asking you a question. Are you Italian? Aren't you Italian?
I'm 100% Italian. Yep.
And Carrie, what's your ethnic background?
I'm a mutt.
Wait a minute. She's a pedigree mutt. I just want to.
I'm a fancy mutt.
She's a pedigree mutt.
I would say I've got more German in me than I would Irish, unfortunately. But yeah, I'm kind of a mutt, European mutt.
Well, I'm so glad that you said that, because if you were still alive, one of the things that I've been thinking about since we've been talking about this is, as Black Americans, we do not know our ethnic history, our DNA. We don't know our makeup. So the whole concept of this woke culture, I think, would still be troubling to him, because as Black Americans, we're the only ethnic group in the United States that don't know where we came from. Do you realize maybe just a few months ago, I did Ancestry.com and I found out who I was. I am now awakened to who I am, where I'm from. Can you imagine? You both just told me, Flora, you're Italian.
Yep.
Carrie, you're Mutt, mostly German.
Right.
Your whole life, you knew where you came from. Mm-hmm. That gives you a sort of pride. It gives you this energy where you know who you are. Can you imagine going my whole life with people saying, oh, Marcia, you're Puerto Rican. Oh, Marcia, you're Dominican. Oh, Marcia, you're Colombian. Marcia, are you biracial? Marcia, I think your name is French. Not knowing who we are. It's a big freaking deal. And so you haven't asked, but I'm going to tell you.
I was just going to say, who are you? Have you found out? Who are you?
I am majority Western African, and English and Scottish. What that means is I am officially a descendant of the transatlantic slave trade. And no, that sounds dark. I know I'm not going deep, but I'm saying knowing who you are means all the difference in the world. It would change things immediately. And I feel like if he were alive today And if he were to say that speech right now, and especially with everyone speaking negatively about, oh, you don't want to be woke. Yes, I do. I do want to be awakened to the fact of knowing who I am, knowing the truths of our history, understanding what countries I'm from. And once you know that, you have this pride, right? That sense when you know, you said it, I'm 100% Italian. Pride goes deep. Can you imagine if all Black Americans had that same pride and understood where they came from, regardless if it's part of the ugliness of American history? It would make all the difference in the world. And I feel like if he were here, he would help us and be with us and stand together in solidarity and saying, hey, Black Americans, we need to understand who we are, where we're from, and things need, and this is why things need to be, that's why the conversation of diversity, equity, inclusion still needs to be primary in our thoughts and in our minds and in our hearts, because when humans know where they came from, there's no telling what they could do. And we've done a lot, but imagine if we know who we were.
Your message is so powerful. Your message is also extremely positive. Love that. What do you say then to young people who say, oh, I didn't get this opportunity because I was discriminated against, or I didn't get that opportunity, or I didn't get this job because of discrimination? What would you say to those folks who say those things?
Well, if I would have said that 30 years ago, I wouldn't be sitting here talking to you right now. I think wherever we go as leaders, as members of community, regardless of your race, believing in yourself, believing that Martin Luther King had a dream, believing in the things that he said, believing that I have a dream, believing that you have a dream, and having that self-worth, what comes from knowing who you are, right? We talked about that already. But I would just say you have to keep going. America is, to me, the best country in the entire universe. In the United States of America, where dreams can become a reality, and when you can become anything that you set your mind to it, and that's what will happen. But you have to believe in yourself. You have to be consistent, and you have to work hard.
Yes, I agree with all of that. And Marcia, you are it's like you have taken in MLK, Martin Luther King, and you have just really begun to embody a lot of the things that he wants for all of us. And I love your messages. And if he were sitting next to you after you asked him that question, he would probably turn around and tell you that he's really proud. I think he would think that he's really proud. And I think anyone who's listening today has to feel a lot better. I do. It was very uplifting.
Yes, it was wonderful. And
I love you guys. I appreciate that.
Well, we love you, and we are so grateful that you came on the podcast to share your views and your message and just looking back on the last 60 years. So thank you.
Thank you.
What a great message. I love what she says all the time, and it's such a positive thing. It's, look at the opportunity. Mm-hmm. Don't let anybody hold you back. Don't let anybody label you. Mm-hmm. You have to believe in yourself. If I look back on my career, there were so many times that people said things to me. I mean, I actually did not get a job because they thought I was Hispanic. They thought, oh, Pastorero, that's Hispanic, right? And I said, no, it's not. And they went, oh, okay, never mind. And if I let that have an impact on me and tear me down, I would not be where I am today. So you got to keep going. You got to keep moving.
So I think we answered the question. We're dreaming, but we're dreaming still very positive and good. And MLK is still in our hearts. And we are so happy that you were with us today. We hope that you will head over to our Chick to Chick YouTube page and like and subscribe until we are back to chirp about another topic.